and let's get into our Whissel widget of the week. This is something that we use in our lives that saves us time, makes us money, or just helps us have some more fun. Chris, what is your Whissel widget of the week?
I'm gonna go with Motion app. I just started using it. I'm very techie, so I test drive a lot of different stuff just for it's probably I would consider it a hobby at this point.
By the time this airs, he's like, I hate that app. It's
Yeah,
Chinese
it could,
3 instead.
and I'm really I'm that flexible. But I've used it for about a month and a half now after I lost my assistant. He's working on other things in the company now, and so task prioritization I've gotten pretty good at working with assistant on, and I was like, oh my gosh, now I have to build my calendar, I have to do all this, and so I started using Motion app. I think it's motion.app or something like that, but it uses AI based on my input, and I can basically prioritize and say, here's the fixed due date, or it doesn't have one, and then I measure is it low priority, high priority, mid priority, and I basically tell a set of rules. And then as I have one-on-one meetings or whatever, it prioritizes, obviously those are fixed time meetings, and then it builds in all my tasks and projects in for me into my calendar, breaking them into sub-projects, all of that with the AI. So that way I just plug in, I always joke, I'm kind of dumb. I try to create as much structure as I can, and it makes me a lot smarter than I really am. So I like to plug in and just be disciplined. And otherwise, I'm kind of all over. So for me, it allows me to look at my calendar every day, and it tells me I'm going to build my rocks today. I'm going to fill out my VTO. I'm going to do a podcast because that's a fixed meeting. And then if something happens, like Brian's like, oh, I have to cancel this podcast today, I would have hit delete on my calendar, or you would have canceled the event. And Motion app would have automatically readjusted my schedule, put another project in that time slot that is flexible in that time based on the priority. Done. I don't have to think about anything.
I like that. Is it free? Does it cost money?
It's not. It's probably overpriced, to be honest, but I didn't want to train a new assistant yet, and I was trying to use a VA for my assistant, and I was like, I have to train them how to use something that's not their own. I don't want them to build a process. It's hard to integrate a assistant if you don't have the playbook written for them.
Yep.
Whether they're in the Philippines or they're US based, doesn't matter. So I think it's on the higher side. It's probably like $17 a month or something like that, which I think for a additional app like that does something that something already else does, like a Google Calendar, it's kind of expensive in my head, but to me it's worth it so far. I like it.
I mean, $17 a month for, even if you have someone in the Philippines, you're not getting someone for $17 a month. So
Correct.
Cool. What I'm going to talk about is something we're going to be integrating into our company. It seems like a lot of my widgets now are things that we're going to be using because I've already used all the stuff that I do use. I think in the last 2 years, we've really focused on culture, making this a fun place to be, something that people want to be at, especially with COVID. How do we get that camaraderie? How do we get that feeling? How do we get, and how good we're getting with technology? How do we get people to want to come into the office? How do we want people to say, this is my spot and I need to come here, versus I'll just watch it on Zoom, I'll get the replay, whatever. And this is something, it's called different things in our leadership team. Rachel Chu, our director of inside sales, calls this a cash centrifuge. Kyle Whissel calls this the cash cube. But this is the thing, how I first experienced it. You would have in elementary school, you'd have to sell things.
It was right? Everyone in junior high's prom had this?
So, yeah,
I was wondering if
it wasn't in
prom, but junior high dance.
We had to like sell things from a magazine, and if you sold, whoever sold the most got to go in this cash cube, and you stood it, and it's kind of like a decently large phone booth that had a fan that spun money around, and as much money as you grabbed and however much time, you got to keep that money. And I don't know a single person that's ever done it, but that was always like, that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got in, but I always looked at it, was like, they don't look like they're having a lot of success, so I'm gonna, the kids weren't doing well, so I was like, I think I'm
man, I so want to do that. So we bought one on Amazon. They're like $350 or something like that. We bought one. We do team contests every month, and so stay tuned on we'll probably put it on our Facebook and our Instagram page, whatever. In our group, probably use all our stuff. TheWhisselWay.com, you'll see it somewhere. But yeah, that's mine. It's our
cash centrifuge.
Yeah, so if you go to Amazon, go to Cash Cube or something like that, and you'll find one. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Bryan Kochi.
Thanks for having me.
All right, see you guys.
Wait. Before you leave, I want to share some more tips and tricks that we're using in our business to take it to that next level. Just click right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Click right here.